Welcome to Karen's place, the space she uses to innovate. She'll make sure you're left thinking, I could do the same thing. Karen says, just do it. There ain't nothing to it. Just do it.
Welcome back for more from mixed media artist Karen Eastland. We're deep diving into her creative journal for week 8 of 2025.
Lots going on.
Always busy, right? You know, she's not just an author.
Oh, great.
She's also a lyricist and a mixed media artist. Always experimenting.
Yeah.
And she's been exploring AI as a creative tool.
Really interesting.
Super intriguing.
It is. And this week she hit a big milestone, finishing her episodic serial, The Adventures of Millie and Sandra.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
It sounds like she's leaving the door open for these characters to pop up in other stories.
Okay, so maybe a little Billy and Sandra cameo in her Tasmanian series. Now, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of this dynamic duo,
Right.
there was this incident with an episode called The Eye.
Oh, really?
Karen actually edited an episode that was already published.
Oh, my goodness. How did that happen?
It sounds like classic Karen, doesn't it? That pantsing style of writing, just letting the story unfold organically, can sometimes lead to these unexpected twists and turns, even after you think you've tied up all the loose ends.
You'd think she'd be done with it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fascinating that she's choosing to weave this new content into the final books of the series.
Wow.
It makes you wonder if those additions will enhance the story or feel a little out of place.
Yeah. Is it a happy accident or a continuity nightmare?
Right. Like, is it a happy accident or a continuity nightmare waiting to happen?
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it all plays out.
I'm very curious.
But getting back to the completion of Millie and Sandra, the ending apparently surprised even Karen.
Oh, really?
She really doesn't plot things out in detail,
Oh, wow.
so even she didn't know where the story would end up.
So that's very much like just jumping off and seeing where you land.
Exactly.
That's the beauty and the risk of pantsing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
good
like
deal.
setting off on an adventure without a map. You never quite know where you'll end up, and sometimes you stumble upon unexpected treasures.
Absolutely. And speaking of unexpected, she hinted at Millie and Sandra possibly showing up in her other series set in Tasmania.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. That's huge. Imagine those two characters interacting with the gritty, atmospheric world of her Tasmanian novels.
That's a very different world.
The potential for crossovers is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with those possibilities, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Karen also made some changes to the lyrics of This Little Bird, which is the first song in a trilogy she's working on.
Okay.
She felt the original chorus was a bit too intense, considering the song's overall haunting and sad tone.
I see. Yeah, it's always fascinating to see how artists wrestle with the emotional impact of their work, isn't it? Striking that balance between raw honesty and creating something that resonates without being overwhelming.
Right.
It's a delicate dance.
It is, and the song tells the story of a bird that can't fly.
Oh.
A powerful metaphor for loss and limitation.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And, you know, Karen isn't a traditional musician by any means.
Right.
But her lyrics are always so evocative and thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Speaking of her diverse creative pursuits, she also launched a new 12-part YouTube series this week called From Then to Now.
Okay.
So From Then to Now.
From then to now, yeah.
This series is a deep dive into her artistic evolution and how her relationship with AI has shaped her work.
Interesting.
It's really interesting that she's chosen to document her AI projects in her creative journal, almost as if AI is a creative partner in the process.
Right, yeah.
This raises an interesting question. Is this the future of art? Are we moving towards a world where the line between human and machine creativity blurs?
It's a question a lot of people are asking.
It's definitely a conversation that's gaining momentum.
Yeah.
And Karen seems to be embracing it head on. She's not afraid to experiment and push boundary. You know, one thing I find really impressive is that she uses a program called Suno to edit her music.
Okay.
Apparently, they have this new editing system that's blown her away. She used it on This Little Bird, and even though she changed the lyrics, she stuck with Suno for the editing.
Interesting. So she didn't use AI to change the lyrics.
She did not use AI to alter the words for the song.
Okay.
But for the editing,
Got it.
she did use Suno to edit the original song with their new editing system, which is very impressive.
That speaks volumes about her willingness to embrace new technologies and integrate them into her creative workflow.
Yeah, and it seems that for Karen, creative boundaries are meant to be blurred,
Yeah.
whether it's through genre bending, collaborating with AI, or adopting cutting-edge tools.
It's all about pushing the envelope for her.
She's always pushing the envelope, and it's incredibly inspiring to see. But speaking of blurring boundaries, she's also grappling with the order in which she'll release her novels.
Oh, okay.
They're all interconnected within the same universe, so the sequence in which they're presented could significantly impact the reader's experience.
That's a challenge that many authors who create interconnected universes face.
It is.
It's almost like assembling a complex puzzle where each piece needs to fit perfectly to reveal the bigger picture.
Right.
And it seems that Karen's decided to re-edit her first book, Josephine Marlin, in light of this challenge.
Perhaps she's discovering new connections or ways to subtly foreshadow events in later books. It's fascinating to see how her creative process unfolds across different mediums, always with this sense of interconnectedness and a willingness to experiment.
Absolutely, and we've only just scratched the surface of Karen's Week 8 in 2025.
There's so much more to unpack, from the release of new music to her ongoing exploration of AI as a creative partner.
Right.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back soon to delve even deeper into Karen Eastland's creative world. It's amazing how she does it all.
She is a creative powerhouse.
We were just talking about the challenge she's facing with the release order of her novels and how they all connect within the same universe.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a delicate balance, isn't it?
It is.
You want each book to stand on its own, but also contribute to the larger tapestry of the universe.
Right.
The order in which she releases these novels could have a huge impact on how readers experience the overall story.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like she's creating a literary puzzle box
Uh-huh.
where each piece unlocks another layer of meaning.
Right.
I'm really curious to see what she decides to do. But speaking of interconnectedness,
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to her use of AI as a creative partner.
Right.
It's not something you hear every day.
No, it's not very common.
An artist who sees AI as a collaborator rather than a threat.
Yeah, usually people are afraid of it taking over.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
Definitely.
There's so much fear and anxiety surrounding AI these days.
Yeah, for sure.
But Karen's approach is one of openness and curiosity.
That's great.
She seems to be embracing the possibilities that AI offers while still maintaining her own unique artistic voice.
Yeah, it seems like she's using it to enhance her work, not replace it.
Exactly. It's not about letting AI take over, but rather about using it as a tool to enhance and expand her creative vision.
Mm-hmm.
She mentioned that AI even helped her edit some of her episodic stories, like having an extra set of eyes,
Right.
or maybe even an extra brain to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, it's a new way to think about the creative process.
And that's where your creative journal comes in, right?
Right.
She's documenting her AI-driven projects alongside her more traditional work,
Yeah.
almost as if she's treating AI as an equal partner in the creative process.
Fascinating. I mean, it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
is this a glimpse into the future of art?
It's an exciting and maybe even a little bit scary thought, isn't it?
A little of both.
But Karen's not one to shy away from pushing boundaries. She's always experimenting, always exploring new ways to express herself. Take her music, for instance.
Oh, right.
She released a new song this week, Rising from the Ashes, which is the second part of a trilogy based on her poem, Lake of Tears.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how does that play in with the first song?
This trilogy is incredibly powerful.
Okay.
Rising from the Ashes is a ballad about resilience and reclaiming your power after going through a difficult experience.
I see.
It's a theme that resonates deeply with so many people.
Yeah, it does.
And it speaks to Karen's own journey as an artist. She's had her share of challenges and setbacks, but she always seems to come back stronger and more determined than ever.
It's inspiring.
She's a true inspiration.
Yeah, he is. And it's not just the music itself that's inspiring. I mean, it's her whole approach to creating.
Exactly.
She's constantly pushing herself, experimenting with new tools and techniques, and never settling for the easy route.
Yeah, and let's not forget that funny eye incident where she accidentally edited an already published episode of Millie and Sandra. It just goes to show that even the most successful artists make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, we all make mistakes.
It's what you do with those mistakes that matters.
Exactly. And in Karen's case, she turned a potential disaster into an opportunity to enhance her story.
Right.
She's not afraid to embrace the unexpected, even if it means going back and revising her work. It's that kind of flexibility and adaptability that sets her apart.
I think it's that willingness to experiment and embrace the unknown that makes her work so captivating.
Yeah, I agree.
You never quite know what she's going to come up with next, but It's going to be interesting.
Right, it's like watching a master chef at work, throwing in unexpected ingredients and coming up with something completely new and delicious. And you might not always know what's going on in the kitchen, but you trust the process.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of trusting the process, let's talk about Karen's creative journal.
Okay.
It's such a valuable resource for anyone interested in her work or even just in the creative process in general.
Absolutely. It's like a window into her mind, isn't it? You get to see her ideas take shape, her struggles and triumphs, her doubts and epiphanies. It's a reminder that even the most successful artists are human with their own unique challenges and insecurities.
And it's a reminder that creativity is a journey, not a destination. It's about embracing the process, the ups and downs, and the constant evolution of your own artistic voice.
It is. It's about allowing yourself to make mistakes, to experiment, to try new things, and to never stop learning. And Karen's creative journal is a testament to that philosophy.
It really is. It's a gift to her fans, a way to connect with her on a deeper level and gain insights into her creative process.
It is, and it's a valuable resource for any aspiring artist, offering a glimpse into the life and mind of a true creative powerhouse.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Karen Eastland's creative journal, but there's still one more piece of the puzzle to explore. We'll be back shortly to wrap things up and leave you with a final thought-provoking question. We've spent this episode exploring Karen's Week 8 of 2025.
Just 1 week, and so much happened.
Incredibly productive.
Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind of activity, from completing her episodic serial to launching a new YouTube series.
Right.
And let's not forget those new music releases and the constant juggling act of managing multiple interconnected fictional universes.
It's a lot to keep track of.
She makes it look easy, though. It's clear that Karen thrives on creative challenges, constantly pushing herself to explore new ideas and experiment with different mediums.
She definitely doesn't shy away from a challenge.
She's not afraid to embrace the unknown.
Right.
Whether it's incorporating accidental edits into her novels or collaborating with AI as a creative partner.
It's that fearlessness that makes her work so compelling.
And her willingness to experiment.
Yeah, that too.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I wanted to circle back to one of the most intriguing aspects of Karen's work: the interconnected nature of her fictional universes.
We've touched on that a bit already.
We've talked about the possibility of characters like Millie and Sandra crossing over into her other series.
Right, that would be fun.
And how those crossovers could create a richer, more layered reading experience.
Yeah, like a literary puzzle.
It's like she's building a literary multiverse where characters and storylines can intersect in unexpected and delightful ways.
Definitely keeps things interesting.
And that brings us to our final thought-provoking question for all of you.
I wonder what it could be.
Considering the interconnected nature of Karen's fictional universes,
Right.
what possibilities do you see for future character crossovers?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What kind of interactions would you like to see? How would those crossovers impact the stories and the overall reading experience? It's a question worth pondering as you delve deeper into Karen's work.
Definitely something to think about. And who knows, maybe your own imaginative musings will spark a new idea for Karen's ever-evolving creative universe.
Always evolving. So, as we conclude this deep dive into Karen Eastland's creative journal, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep creating.
And keep those creative sparks flying.
Until next time, happy creating, everyone.
Thanks for stopping